Welcome to our third input about diaconal leadership. Now in this third form we will see how is our organizational context for the reflection of diaconal leadership. As we have seen in the last explanation, the leadership style is not only an behavior, we have different styles. We have to develop and put into practice different styles and behaviors, and this is in connection to the follower situation and the organizational context we have. So the question of what kind of leadership style and culture we desire for our Caritas organization, now we are deeper inside thinking about these Caritas organizations. What is clear in the organizational development field, we have to reflect leadership as the end point of different fields that are in contact inside our organization. That means the culture, the vision, the beliefs and values. And in the context of our church organizations, there's a relationship with theology, the relation and church tradition too. And all these different steps and areas and levels in our organizations has to be linked by a bridge that we can call an inspiration. An inspiration that put these areas into practice. This is not just organizational development, it's not just a reflection, it is not just a theory, it is the question how to bring the organization into a movement, into processes that deeper live the values and beliefs that the members share there. One of these ideas now we have to settle is the question of diaconal leadership. So for me, one inspiration was this side from the Bible, where in Matthew chapter 20 there's a question about authority and power. And the idea of Jesus is when the disciples are talking about who will occupy the first place, who will be the leader, he turned the question around. So he said, "Here, but it shall not be so among you. Rather, whoever wishes to be great among you shall be your servant." So when we use leadership and we have this image of the great man, we see that Jesus turned this question round. He put this pyramid above. He said, who wants to be the first as to be the servant? So if this is not just an utopic question, we have to ask, what does this mean? This question for our organization. Be leader and be servant. How can we bring these two areas together? This is the deep question for the rest of these questions. What means to serve? What service structure need our organizations? I think we do this reflection very well, but mostly towards the people who come, the people in need who come to our organizations. So there we do this reflection, how to serve, how can we make better our service. But we do this question and this reflection to a lesser extent inside, towards our structures inside and the relationship between our members. And here we can take back these questions in our church structure, where service is articulated as a ministry. We see the figure of Jesus Christ there. We have elements like the Good Samaritan. We have the element of the merciful Father. We have the works of mercy and the Beatitudes. And we have structural elements like the election of the deacons, men and women in the service of love. And we have in history the creation of institution of the service. Finally, Caritas is the expression of this organized service. So this is the root where this love is put into practice by an organized way. Mostly when we talk about service in Caritas, what appears is we are using elements and processes like quality assurances, certification of services. We introduce quality management systems, and we make our auditories, and we have our Caritas management style, and we have our Caritas models to evaluate our organizations. The question here is, mostly we are focusing on the management of the services, but here in leadership, now our question is management as a service. So we have to understand management more as a service inside our service organizations. It's true that Caritas are organizations, and mostly they appear as provider of services. On the other side, there's a reflection and the idea we are not just a provider of service. We are more a community of service. In Germany, this is expressed by the term Dienstgemeinschaft. That means this is a structural principle to be a community of service for the organization, and also with own labor laws and so on. This is a special situation in Germany, but I think the idea of the community of service against just the idea of a provider of services is very strong and important, and could bring more light into this question. Because we can say we have there two different service models. We have a typical employer-employee model. Then church is just the background. Church is just the employer. There's responsibilities, but the importance is on the mission, the structure, and this mission we have to bring to the staff as the employee. And this is all focused on service delivering. The other model is the community of service. Church is background too, but the mission is to serve. So this is the first point. Then all the other is linked to that. And the staff is not outside this service model where it's just an instrument. It forms parts of this ecclesial institution. So this is a change in the view, staff at the base in the ecclesial institution, and brings this church background in a deeper way inside the organization. What is happening today, that this is the middle point, that sometimes the organizations appear as something like hybrid organization. So we have simultaneous this employer-employee model when we, for example, promote programs, and on the other side we have this community service model, and so we have these hybrid situations and organizations, and this brings more dynamic into our question. One idea I found in connection to this service focus is the concept of servant leadership. It was developed by Robert Greenleaf in 1977 with the publication of Servant Leadership. In the United States we have there Greenleaf Center, and Larry Spears was the first official paid director of this center, started to promote this area more. It is a concept that is employed in different companies, areas, and could be a point of dialogue for our reflection too. Kathleen Patterson made a doctoral dissertation about this, putting love in a more central place, and I found that in the German Protestant Church there are some projects and experiences too where this servant leadership was put into practice in diaconal institutions. So we have there a theory, we have their experiences, we have research that we can use for our reflection too. Greenleaf's idea of a servant leader was just like one has to feel that one wants to serve first. It is a conscious choice that brings one to aspire to lead and take care of the other people as the highest priority. So it is not the focus so strong on the mission of the organization, it is on taking care of the people. And the question is, do they grow as persons? When they are growing as persons, when they are healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely to become servants, then the organization will have a better performance, or better output, and will change not only by having more servant leaders, but change into a service organization. This is the idea, and it is not just an individual ethic focus. We are talking about institutions and organizational approaches. Even we are talking here about society. So I think this will be a nice point, and we will continue this in the next slides. Thank you very much.